This is breaking news on BNC. With the latest information on the global pandemic, in the studio, breaking news host Marie O'Brien.
Welcome to Breaking News. 3 days ago, the Geneva-based World Health Organization issued a report about clusters of a yet unknown virus in Germany and the United States. Reportedly, people affected by the virus suffer from high fever and severe respiratory problems. To respond to these developments, the WHO over the weekend has activated its incident management support teams. IMS teams are part of the WHO standardized emergency response framework to coordinate its emergency efforts with national entities in the US and Germany. This morning, the Office of the Director General of the World Health Organization, Michael van Dijk, announced a press conference to inform the world about the latest developments. We expect the press conference to start in a few minutes. Our correspondent Martin Spector is in Geneva. Martin, what can we expect from this press conference, and what do we know about the findings of the IMS teams in Germany and the US?
Thank you, Marie. I am right now in front of the newsroom of the World Health Organization in Geneva, waiting for the Director General. This morning, the Office of the Director General, Michael van Dijk, announced that he might officially declare a FIC, a public health emergency of international concern. It seems that this is a direct response to the findings of the two WHO incident management support teams who investigated disease clusters in Frankfurt, Germany and near Chicago over the weekend. From our sources here in Geneva, we hear that these teams came to the conclusion that the new virus could soon develop into an epidemic of major proportions. And now I'm giving back to you, Marie.
So, what will follow from such an official statement? After the experience of the corona pandemic in the early 2020s, this type of announcement leaves many people in discomfort and fear about another global pandemic.
Yes, Marie, you are absolutely right. According to the International Health Regulations Framework, which is binding international treaty, declaring a public health emergency of international concern is only the first step of an escalation ladder to prevent a global pandemic. Triggering a FIC, a public health emergency of international concern, demand from national governments to invoke quite a list of measures to prevent the spread of a virus. Amongst others, this contains infection prevention and control measures, laboratory testing, social distancing, and even travel restrictions. But now, Marie, I hear that the Director General has just entered the room and will soon start the press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody. Welcome to the press conference on the new virus that has been investigated for over the weekend in Frankfurt, Germany and Chicago in the United States. Last week, on January the 2nd, 2025, we were informed almost simultaneously by the governments of both states, Germany and the United States, about clusters of patients suffering from acute respiratory problems combined with high fever and other influenza-like symptoms. We assume that the virus was brought to the US by a 42-year-old man who was traveling from Kenya via Frankfurt to Chicago on the 22nd of December. Over Christmas, he infected his entire extended family, 15 people in sum, including minors, meanwhile suffering from severe respiratory symptoms. The man's 75 and 77-year-old parents unfortunately passed away. All other family members are highly infective. They are now treated in a high-level infection unit. 2 of the family members are in critical conditions. Unfortunately, 9 patients have died already. Meanwhile, 6 in Germany, 3 in the United States. Whether of or with the virus needs to be examined in more depth right now. In both countries, Germany and the United States of America, Epidemiologists and pathologists, supported by the WHO incident management support teams, have investigated these cases. The teams were able to isolate and analyze the virus that causes these diseases. What we know so far is that the virus belongs to the SARS-CoV family, the same virus stem that ignited COVID-19. Given its chemical structure, no existing vaccines or medical treatment seems to be effective. Hence, people catching the virus are without any protection. Since this is the fifth pathogen of zoonotic descent which we are aware of, we now call the virus SARS-CoV-5. SARS-CoV-5 is, of course, highly infectious, leading to severe health condition in patients and death. The incubation period lies between 3 and 10 days. We assume that the 42-year-old American patient was already highly infectious at the Frankfurt airport and that he has infected numerous other people during his prolonged stay in Frankfurt. To identify the origin of the pathogen, we have sent our analyst team to Kenya, Germany, and the US. Authorities there are highly cooperative, which I really appreciate. And Kenyan authorities report of suspicious cases in their country too. Due to the severity of the case, I today invoke Article 48 of the International Health Regulations, setting up a so-called FIKE, Emergency Committee. The committee will evaluate and determine whether the outbreak constitutes public health emergency of international concern. And let me be very clear on this. We do not yet officially declare FIKE, but we most likely will come to this conclusion by the end of the week. I want to stress that this is a crucial phase in containing the virus, which has a pandemic potential. Hence, this is a pledge to us all. We should take this seriously, without falling into panic. Let me please repeat this. I want to be very clear. We have to take it very serious, but do not fall into panic. The WHO is in close contact with national government through our headquarters here in Genoa and our field and regional offices worldwide. Thank you for your attendance. I am now ready to answer any questions.
AFP from Paris. So, how can WHO ensure that containing...
Marie, this is quite remarkable, because in former times we wouldn't have heard such a strong statement by the WHO's Director General, but this time Michael van Dijk made it crystal clear. Other than in 2019, in the wake of the corona pandemic, national governments need to get their act together to contain the new virus. We probably do not have to wait long to receive first reactions from the capitals all over the world. And now I'm giving back to you.
Thank you, Martin. What can you tell me about the 42-year-old passenger who traveled from Kenya via Frankfurt to Chicago? What do we know about him? And are there any estimates as to the spread of the virus so far?
Marie, we have tried to get in touch with the German Federal Health Ministry throughout the day, but we haven't been able to receive an official statement yet. But through our correspondent network in the United States, we were able to learn more about the journey of the 42-year-old patient in Chicago who traveled via Frankfurt back home. According to our sources, early in November 2024, the 42-year-old Jonathan G., a former campaign manager for the Democratic Party from Chicago, went on a safari in Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya, only accompanied by a young local ranger. On his way back, due to a strike of air traffic controllers, he stranded at Frankfurt Airport, missing his connection flight back home to Chicago. This was on 19th of December. During the strike, the airport got increasingly overcrowded as people continued to arrive but barely left. After waiting for almost 24 hours in vain in the departure terminal, he finally decided to take a room at the Blue Hotel in downtown Frankfurt. According to the hotel manager, who has been interviewed by German CDC personnel, Jonathan stayed 2 nights at the hotel before the strike ended, and he finally hopped onto a plane, bringing him to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Reportedly, Jonathan used the forced stay in Frankfurt not only to visit the famous Christmas market in Frankfurt, but also to do some Christmas shopping. Whether he went to other tourist sites or clubbing is not known, but one thing seems to be pretty sure. When Jonathan eventually left Frankfurt on December 22, he was already highly infectious. At this time, tens of thousands of stranded passengers waited for their departures to foreign destinations. To give you an idea about the possible multiplier effect here, Frankfurt serves more than 200 destinations worldwide, not to speak of the 100,000 daily visitors of the Frankfurt Christmas market Jonathan has visited prior to his departure. And now I'm giving back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Martin. This afternoon, former head of the US National Institute of Health, Anthony Fauci, said, "This could turn into a nightmare, but I hope that governments act with more resolve than last time. We should indeed prepare for the worst and hope for the best. We will keep you posted. Thanks for watching BNC Breaking News."